Hey guys, in today's video I'll be doing a tropical update on what is officially now Tropical Storm Iota. So yesterday it was still an invest that had a very high chance of development that was likely going to become our next named storm over the next day or two, and today it really got its act together, with all of its convection all around the center, and it became a tropical depression first off at the 10 a.m. Eastern Time advisory earlier today, and now officially at the 4 p.m. Eastern Time advisory, it is now officially Tropical Storm Iota, with sustained winds now of 40 miles per hour, pressures at 1,006 millibars, and it's moving west-southwest at 3 miles per hour. It's moving very slowly. By the way, just real quick, Theta is a strong tropical storm, but it's on its way out. It's going to be dissipating quite soon, so yeah, just real quick kind of update on that, but really we don't really need to focus on Theta much anymore at all. Iota is really the big thing we're really, of course, going to have to focus on. And now, in fact, let's look at the new forecast cone for Iota, and you can see that the NHC shows it continuing to be a tropical storm between now through about overnight Saturday, and then it looks to become a hurricane by overnight Saturday into Sunday, maybe just after midnight or so. And then look at this, right before it makes landfall, potentially around the border of Nicaragua and Honduras, which is really bad news because that is pretty much one of the bullseye areas where Eta totally decimated and destroyed with its terrible amounts of flooding, rainfall, and storm surge. So that's really bad. But right before it makes landfall, it's now forecast to peak at a 120 mile per hour Category 3 hurricane, which is nuts. Because, I mean, first of all, we're like in the middle of November, so to get first of all, with this season, it would be our 13th hurricane, but then our 6th major hurricane potentially as well. So I mean, it's just mind-blowing when this stuff happens. It's just truly insane. And this year's November is quite an active November. That one of the most active Novembers, probably the most active November I've seen in like my whole life, really. So it's just truly nuts. Now let's go to Tropical Tidbits and let's take a look at what is now Tropical Storm Iota. It says Tropical Storm 31, but it's Tropical Storm Iota. Let's look at what Iota looks like currently on the satellite imagery loop, and you can see it has really great spin to it, and it has lots of great strong convection blowing up or near the center and south of the center there, so it's looking pretty healthy, really healthy, and it's moving very slowly, but it's getting into now an environment that's a lot more conducive, so it's able to now continue to feed off of the very warm waters, of course, in the Caribbean, where the waters are still around like 28, 29, 30 degrees Celsius, and it's also going to be going into an environment with very low wind shear, so that's also going to really help it strengthen a good bit. Now, let me show you the hurricane model track guidance. Here is the overall hurricane model track guidance. You can see, like the NHC's cone was showing, it will continue generally to the west, and then potentially, it seems, make landfall in Central America around the border of Honduras and Nicaragua, which is really terrible news. It's really bad news. Here's the GEFS ensemble model track guidance, and it shows generally the same thing, maybe showing it a little farther north, but also, again, it's going to be strengthening a lot and pretty rapidly, especially as it's starting to approach landfall there in Central America around Honduras, Nicaragua. So it's really bad news there. And then, of course, here's the current 18Z run of the current model intensity guidance forecast for Tropical Storm Iota. And, of course, now it just became a very weak tropical storm. It's now a tropical storm, and all of the models have it intensifying quite far. And let me actually bring this back here, or adjust it a bit. And you can see that the models, a majority of the models have it getting to Category 1 status. A lot of the models get it to Category 2 status. Even a few get it towards Category 3, Category 4 status even. So, you know, of course, again, major hurricane status is definitely not out of the question with the storm. And it's already now in the forecast with only the second forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center for the storm. So it's truly insane stuff. And I gotta say, to be honest, I think there's a chance that it could become a bit stronger than just in the end 120 mile per hour Category 3 hurricane. I think it could potentially even get towards Category 4 status. We'll have to see, but again, like Eta, all the conditions that Eta was able to really just explode intensity, and the same thing with this storm. The environment this storm is going to be able to strengthen in is pretty much going to be the same kind of conducive environment Eta had in the Caribbean last week or so. Now, let's look at the forecast models, and I'll show you the GFS, what the GFS model is showing, what the CMC model is showing, what the European model is showing, is what the HWRF and HMOD models are showing. So first, we're starting off with the GFS model, and of course there's Iota down here with all that precipitation. Bring this forward in time, you can see there's that low pressure center, and you can see the GFS shows it really intensifying as it's approaching landfall there, maybe just north of the border of Honduras, Nicaragua, and bringing those very heavy rainfall and very strong winds into Honduras. And Honduras was one of, if not the worst impacted area from Eta in Central America, other than, of course, Nicaragua. So that's really, again, really bad news for everyone living there. So it's just terrible that this is happening again. So that's what the GFS model is showing. Now I'll show you what the CMC model is showing. And there's Iota there with, and the CMC model shows it strengthening a bit, but definitely shows a much weaker storm than what the GFS model is showing, but still making landfall in generally the same area and dissipating with all of its heavy rainfall going into Honduras and those areas, those same areas that Eta impacted with that really terrible flooding rainfall. Now here is the European model. There's that vorticity here that's associated with Tropical Storm Iota currently. And we bring this forward in time, and you can see the European model shows Iota just like what the GFS and CMC models were showing, really strengthening as it's approaching landfall, but it shows it making landfall a bit farther south than what the GFS and CMC models were showing, more towards the Nicaragua side of the border than the Honduras side. So that's very interesting. We're going to have to really keep an eye on that and really try to figure out the potentially where the exact location will be of where Iota will make landfall. Now let's show you what the HWRF model is forecasting currently with Iota. Let's change this to the radar and MSLP. Here it is. Bring this forward, and I'll bring this forward in time, and you can see this, the HWRF shows Iota really strengthening as we move forward in time through this weekend, going into Sunday now, Monday. Shows it really strengthening, getting down towards 940. What does it say? 947 millibars there, 945, 943 millibars. And then it's showing actually the HWRF here's the thing, really interesting, that the HWRF is showing the system going much farther north than what all the other models are showing, and generally what the National Hurricane Center is showing. It shows it going way north of Central America and those areas of Honduras, Nicaragua, and more making landfall towards the coast of the Caribbean coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, which is very interesting. We'll have to really keep an eye on that. And also the HWRF shows the system really strengthening and getting down towards a much stronger Category 4 hurricane. So that's really interesting, and we're really going to have to keep an eye on that and see potentially if Iota is able to or does become that strong. So that's going to be also another one of those key things we're going to have to watch. Here's the HMOD model showing what the HMOD model thinks is going to happen with Iota, and you can see again, same thing with the HMOD model showing a really intense storm forming from Iota as we move forward in time into the end through this weekend into early next week. You can see it's showing again down to 950 millibars, 944 millibars, 943, and also getting towards making landfall. Where is this? It seems also near Belize, the Belize Yucatan Peninsula area. So very interesting. Generally, there's still a pretty widespread of where all the models think the the Iota could make landfall in Central America. We'll have to see. It could either make landfall again, which generally kind of also where Eta made landfall in the northern coast of Nicaragua, or make landfall. It could make landfall in the coast of Honduras, or make landfall towards the Yucatan and Belize, like what the HMON and the HWRF models are showing. So still got to really iron out those details specifically, but in any case, it still seems like this system will be a very, very dangerous storm and will become a pretty strong storm as well at that. In fact, before I show you guys the 2020 Atlantic Hurricane Season Wikipedia page, and I go to round out the video, I want to see, here it is, here's the image, here's that image. You can see, again, the new update from Tropical Depression 31, now it's Tropical Storm Iota, 40 mile per hour sustained winds. It shows the system getting to 100 miles per hour, Category 2 hurricane by Sunday afternoon, and then 120 mile per hour Category 3 hurricane by Monday afternoon, right as around the time it makes landfall there. Shows it more making landfall, in fact, actually, with the forecast cone, potentially more towards right around that border of Nicaragua and Honduras, but more maybe towards that Nicaragua side. So that's very interesting. We'll have to see if that trend continues, or if the cone forecast will shift farther north or farther south. We'll have to see. It really depends with where the system tracks. Of course, currently it's moving to the west-southwest at only 3 miles per hour, so it's moving very, very slowly, but there's no real indication yet on really where, in fact, it will track to, if it tracks south or north enough to where it will potentially make landfall into Central America. So it's very, very interesting. Now let's show you the 2020 Atlantic Hurricane Season Wikipedia page. And man, we have had a very, very record-breaking, insanely active Atlantic hurricane season this year. The most active Atlantic hurricane season on record. It's beaten 2005 for the most active Atlantic hurricane season on record. We've had now a total of 31 depressions. That's a record high, now tied with 2005. 30 named storms, record high. 12 hurricanes and 5 major hurricanes. Looks like Iota will become our 13th hurricane and eventually our 6th major hurricane of the season. Truly crazy stuff there. Total fatalities so far this season thus far is 324 total, and total damage thus far this season is now at somewhere above $38.432 billion in damage. So again, it's been a somewhat deadly and destructive season as well. So it's pretty crazy. And then, of course, here's that timeline of all of the tropical cyclones we've seen named so far this season, and they've added on December at the end of the timeline, because with how active the Atlantic hurricane season still is, and just how the activity just doesn't seem to want to slow down whatsoever, we could end up seeing potentially some named storms even occur getting into December, past the official end of the hurricane season, which is on November 30th at the end of this month. So that's very interesting. Again, here we go, 30th named storm Iota formed just now, today, on November 13th. With Theta and Iota, it's the first time these names were used along with Eta, but these are the first time these two names were used, and this is the record earliest for these two names to be used, if in the future we even get another hurricane season that tries to rival out this year's hurricane season, which would be insane. But in any case, yeah, it's just, again, truly insanely active Atlantic hurricane season. 30 total named storms thus far. Just never thought I would see something like this. I don't think any of us really thought we would see anything like this year in the end, but it happened. Total ACE thus far this season is now around 165.2 units, so it's a hyperactive Atlantic hurricane season now, so it's pretty crazy. Really, the main cause of that is the fact that just how active and how strong we've had a ton of these late season tropical cyclones, especially Hurricane Eta. Here's what Eta looked like at peak intensity, or right around peak intensity. Again, this with the way it looks like here around peak intensity, there's no way it peaked at only 150 mile per hour Category 4 hurricane with pressure at 923 millibars. I definitely think, in fact, that it potentially got to a peak intensity of 190 miles per hour with a pressure of somewhere between 900 and 905 millibars. So and there's a lot of decent potential evidence to back that up as well. So, you know, there's that. But Tropical Storm Theta is still going on, but that's slowly starting to die out and will become history in a few days. But of course, here's Iota, the newest named storm, and what we're really gonna have to continue watching throughout the rest of this week and throughout probably a good amount of next week as well. So it's just truly insane. We've gone through now 9 names on the Greek alphabet. That's insane. We only got through 6 names on the Greek alphabet in 2005. We've gone through 3 more names on the Greek alphabet than in that season in 2005. So that's crazy. And honestly, with the way the Atlantic hurricane season continues to be so active, we could see in the future, in the coming future, over the next few weeks, we could see Kappa, Lambda, Mu form. We'll have to see. But it's just really crazy, really crazy stuff. But again, Iota is now the newest named storm, just formed, 40 mile per hour tropical storm, pressures at 1,006 millibars, and it looks to affect the Central America area, most likely a lot of the same countries that were devastated by Eta just about a week and a half ago. So it's terrible that is the case just so soon afterwards. And yeah, we're really gonna have to watch and track this system very closely over the rest of this week and throughout the majority of next week. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that. But again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please consider liking the video, commenting on the video if you liked this video, enjoyed the video, found it informative. If you did, again, please consider liking the video, commenting on the video. And if you're a first-time viewer and you liked what you saw in today's video, please consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.